other things that I was mentioning about the vision that you're going to be able to grant by the Beastmaster. Doesn't give you quite as much of the pushing aspect for sure, but it really does give you a way to be able to find the back lines, to be able to get the jump. It means that the Storm Spirit's forced to go into an early BKB. Same sort of thing with the Faceless Void. Otherwise, they're just going to get run down.
The hero that you've been asking for a lot, Denog. We haven't really gotten many Night Stalker games. I know both you and I are a very big fan of the hero. Fortunately, it doesn't feel as strong at the moment unless it's a really specific game. And do you feel like this game one here against Thunder is a good enough game for the Night Stalker to have a lot of value?
I think it's good enough. You know, they're going to be playing Collapse together with Toronto Tokyo a fair amount, just specifically in that early game as Yasuo is still looking to farm up into his first couple of items. Just because they have no super strong defense if you're just able to get in on top of the right heroes. I'm sure Collapse, his main priority is going to be finding Pandamu on the Bane, right? Because if he's silenced, then there's nothing to stop that Rolling Thunder from coming through and just dismantling the team. Outside of the Chrono, I suppose, but then again, you're going to have an Undying there to save with the Soul Rip. You're going to have, you know, lots of other setups, and I just think if it gets late-ish, Thunder Awaken can look to deal with this. I think Team Spirit's draft is just a little bit too fast, and they have too few ways of being able to deal with constant lanes being pushed in.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So I think late game, I'd be very comfortable with Thunder's lineup, but I'm just concerned it's not going to get to that stage where you've got the Drow Ranger that can help group up early on, the Night Stalker that's going to prove to be a really big issue for the supports and even the Storm Spirit's position. Have a way to address the Pain Glaive, which is really going to prove to be an issue. I guess the Bane Fiend script, but the Night Stalker kind of nullifies that counter, whereas because Collapse is just going to go straight towards the Bane in the team fight. So I think Thunder, if they can somehow find a way to get towards the later stages, I'm happy with their draft, but I don't think Spirit are going to let them get to there.
Yeah, I remember when I was talking with Seb when we were at that Re-Out event, and Team Spirit were picking this Marcy Viper combo a lot, and he was like, man, why can't they just pick Collapse like this styling hero where he's able to just outplay people? And Night Stalker is one of them. You know, you could play around the tree lines. You could, you know, dip in and out of team fights and make the big plays happen. I think he's a fantastic player on this hero. He was MVP almost every single time that they picked it in the games that I've seen. So I've got faith in him to be able to get a pretty good amount out of this game.
So if Thunder are going to get to the late game, what has to go right for them? And I suppose in particular, what lane really has to be a winning lane for Thunder to try and, you know, be able to get to that later stages where we feel like this draft might be enabled more?
See you later, nerds.
I think it's
See you later, nerds.
I don't think you need to get kills. I think you just need to try and enable as much experience as possible. Keeping your towers up. I think that's going to be the bigger issue. Just making sure that you've got plenty of room to play with, plenty of map to be able to farm, so that the Kaz is able to scale, so that Sacred's able to scale. It's going to require Dark Margot to play a little bit more of the sacrificial style for sure to enable that and create some of the chaos alongside Matthew and his Nyx Assassin.
I feel like a lot of that's going to be set up then off the back of the support rotations. Really has to start with the first 4 minutes though. If Thunder can get their lanes in a position where then the supports can start to rotate, be able to secure some of the power runes to enable the Storm Spirit. So, we'll hold that thought real quick. We got Pandamu and Poshka. Just you're trading some spells, some right clicks, just trying to be a nuisance. Looks like Panda's going to make the trip all the way back to base. So
don't worry, Maposhka's got the whole fruit market with him. 6 mangoes that he's holding on to right now. Very happily able to waddle back to lane. All of that passive regen, nearly 7 health regen. Gonna be just fine. Also, Decay's about to wear off as well, so you're just gonna see what makes Undying so busted right now. Oh, just free HP. About to get another free, like 60 HP as well.
Very cool hero. Very cool hero indeed is the Undying. Why do we feel like they have kind of swapped up the lanes where you've got Mira playing up top with the Drow Ranger and then the Undying being down bottom?
Honestly, I think it's just, it would have been pretty similar regardless. Well, Matthew, actually, maybe it just enables a little bit more kill potential like this. Drow wants that stun setup to be able to go for those early kills.
Oh, he might be in trouble though. Yutori, they still get first blood, but Sacred just finds the level 2 at the same time. So with the use of the Malefice, he will be able to catch up. Unfortunately, Sacred just a little bit too late to find the bonus gold from first blood, but at least they do kill off Yutori.
see just why, right? The stun just enabling that setup. Yes, you get something in exchange for it, so I'm sure Yatoro is going to be talking about just needing to be a little bit more conscientious of making the kill attempt when the Eidolons aren't ready to split, because that was what caused the turnaround, plus that level 2, like you mentioned.
The Poshka. Funny stuff. Maybe this is another thing as well. Like potentially a Marcy Night Stalker lane. Like doesn't seem like you can really look to protect the Night Stalker because he's relatively weak in the lane. The Undying, on the other hand, is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
So you buff up the Night Stalker a little bit. You still put the Marcy in a lane where there's going to be offering some kill threat. I kind of like the setup that we're seeing out of Spirit. And this is scary because, again, we said, like, this is a team, if they get off to a good start as top lane. Another kill picked up for Thunder. And we were saying that if Spirit get off to a good start, then this is a lineup that can get a lot of map control early.
Indeed. So the fact that Thunder are getting a decent time out of this top lane, Sacred, with one of his favorite heroes as well on the Enigma. Look to emphasize it in that first phase, picking it up at 8th pick. So yeah, like it's a tale of as old as time, right? The Night Stalker just on the bottom side. You know you're weak in the first 5 or so minutes. Collapse even just holding on to multiple skill points just in case, but be able to put multiple into that Hunter in the night so that it's effective as quickly as possible. Going into a little bit more of that damage build, he wants to be able to burst down these targets when he gets on top of them with the crippling fear once we get into the stage where ultimates are available.
Bottom lane, Tombstone's going to be laid down. Thunder do a really good job to be able to switch their priority to try and deal with the building structure instead. So free gold for them to be picked up.
Job, in fact. They're getting much more out of this laning stage than I thought they would, especially considering how well Miposhka's been playing to be able to keep Pandamu out of the lane.
You get nothing.
We're mentioning as well that Dark Margot is going to be a really vital component here for Thunder if they are going to have that success, and it looks like he's having a really good lane matchup versus Toronto Tokyo. 26-4 compared to the 17-1. Not all good start's going to be the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, but it's going to be around securing those power runes for him, right? Enigma's gotten to the stage where he's ridiculously farmed. You just need to make sure you're influencing the lane so that he's in a safe place to farm when the Nyx Assassin needs to make that rotation, secure the 6-minute rune for himself, because he doesn't quite have that Ball Lightning just yet. As soon as he does, that's when you're going to try and enable him to make that rotation up onto the Drow Ranger.
Potentially going to come down to just who maybe gets a little bit more denies in this lane, playing for 6 first. Top lane, we've got some trading going back and forth. Yatoro, a very early point up in the Gus, going to be able to protect him for the moment, so they'll turn it back onto Matthew. The slows are starting to stack up, and the Nyx Assassin forces run into the tree line. There'll be no escaping down to the south. Lands a nice stun, but the arrow already came out beforehand, so another kill for Spirit in this top side of the map.
Yeah, Mira not being greedy as well, going for the right clicks, realizing that all he needs to do is give Yatoro the vision. Not allow that pesky little Nyx Assassin to get away. He nearly did, but it was just that one extra right click he needed.
We've got the nighttime now. Collapse. A lot of damage onto the face of this Void, but the 1 health should be enough for Bakaz to get the time walk off very, very close. But we see just instantly what happens as soon as it hits the nighttime. They start to get aggressive and put the pressure onto the Void.
I think as well that, you know, you can have those couple of points in the Hunter in the night, immediately go for the pressure.
Level 6 on Dark Margot. Yeah, he's going to go for it. Hit under the tower. Why not try and secure the kill? And Mira will be too late with his TP rotation. Still going to try and jump on forward. They don't have enough mana on Dark Margot to even get the master kill as well.
The tower, though. Matthew making sure that Dark Margot wasn't the one being hit there. Oh, it would be poetic justice if the rune spawns bottom, and it's a regen rune as well. So, a little bit too late with the rotation, but just in time to make sure that the Storm Spirit doesn't necessarily cause a big issue for this top side of the map.
So this is some beautiful plays coming out. A Tombstone was dropped from Miposhka down bottom to try and help with the tower siege and to protect the catapult, but Pandamu just dragged the wave. So Spirit, what would have been a lot of damage onto the tower, is completely nullified thanks to just that slight play from Pandamu.
Dark Margot is going to go back to the mid lane, deal with the siege creep, or if they feel like they're in a position to want to get a kill onto Yatoro up top here. Boy back in base. Bullet 2 miles
already.
That's got bottom dead.
Alright, onto Collapse. A lot of damage coming out early on with the Night Stalker. Plenty of mana as well for Dark Margot to continue the chase throughout the lane. And the Poshka decides to stand off to the side and watch as his core dies. And now he too, we put 6 feet under as Thunder makes some great movements. They get 2 down bottom and they also find the kill onto Mira up top. Now it does come at the cost of the Black Hole. So Sacred first use of the ultimate for the game.
And a good amount of mana as well on Dark Margot. Of course,
attack.
not playing with that power rune means that he's not instantly able to get back to the mid lane as quickly as he would have liked. You've also got...
Toro might be in trouble top. Sacred's got some Eidolons to play with. Matthew with the follow-up stun as well. Is going to try and get in front of the Drow Ranger if they need the body blocks. Now mid lane, Dark Margot. Oh, they toss him out of the rolling thunder.
Bring around the rosy.
Around the ball. Niboshka's going to try and move over, but they're too late. They might be able to secure the tower at least, but a kill goes begging.
I mean, he hasn't been in this lane for 3 waves now, so this Siege Creeper survived for quite a long time. Really good individual movement from Toronto Tokyo to make sure that the aggro has been drawn onto him and the creeps instead. Yeah, it would have been great to be able to secure that kill on top of things. At least you open up the map a little bit now, and you're probably going to secure the power rune. Oh, never mind, Panda Move. Just stealing it away right in front of Maposhka's face.
One is now mine, my good sir. Alright, well, we do have some ultimates soon to play with, because with the Chronosphere, do we want to see the Faceless Void leave this lane and try and get use of the Chrono before Team Spirit come bottom? Because it does seem like this is the next part of the map that Spirit want to be in.
I still feel like Collapse doesn't necessarily quite do enough damage. Like, he's got the ultimate ready to level up. He's even holding on to another point. No, it's not. But I feel like they might be able to TP people down and hold a lot of TPs on Thunder to make sure that he can look to protect.
The dive under the tower. Long zoom in from Dark Margot, but the rotation's going to be too quick. Look at the response. And Toronto Tokyo lines up the Rolling Thunder. Can bounce back off the wall as well. They can keep Guitar alive. This is going to be huge for Team Spirit as he's just almost able to limp away. They'll finally get the finishing blow, but it is such a grave cost for Thunder as multiple casualties come out from Radiant. Too deep of a dive for them.
Still, again, able to make sure that Yatoro isn't having the greatest time, but such a super deep dive at this stage of the game when you don't have those key ultimates to be able to play around. You just see the impact of the Rolling Thunder connecting onto multiple, making sure that the Black Hole is not going to be a factor.
So pesky Eidolons, that finishing blow. See, bottom lane, Collapse is going to be a bit cautious because
the Chrono.
He's got Matthew nearby. Let's see if they're going to have the damage, though. It's a really beefy Night Stalker. He's got some one charges to play with as well. Mira's going to try and provide some assistance. Collapse is actually going to look to man fight. No way they come out of this. Collapse eats the entire Chronosphere thanks to the toggles, and now Thunder. A big ultimate on cooldown. They don't even get anything out of it.
You know what I said about outplaying? That's what I'm talking about right there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh no. I mean, that is a big ultimate where you can potentially get a kill and then slow down the Night Stalker. All of a sudden, this lane very vulnerable.
Tokyo just trying to roll a couple of times. Gets got with a Black Hole, yeah, and multiple Eidolons hitting into him as well. Nicely done by Sacred, having a fantastic game so far, even getting the double 1v2 turnaround.
Dire's top tower.
Bottom as well, Collapse gets another kill as well. Dark Ascension used. So it looks like they will be able to secure this tower. Very nicely done. Some kills across the map. 10-7, 11 minutes in. A back and forth game we have.
They know there's not any rotations coming down towards this bottom side. They don't quite have vision of the Storm Spirit. He's making sure to play right on the range of that Night Stalker. Now that it turns to daytime, maybe now is when they look to make that move. And Matthew's TPing in to make it happen.
First stun. Bill's going to be nearby to try and provide some assistance. Collapse just going to go for the straight TP out. They won't have the damage. Pandamu just a little bit too late with the smoke to be able to provide that stun to cancel the TP. They will try and wrap around and see if they can get something out of this though. Maybe a ward's going to be placed at the triangle to start to pick up
what I missed
in the future.
Nice.
Go for Mirror under the tower. Is it coming through from
middle tower is
Yatoro?
under attack.
Probably not going to be able to deal with the Storm Spirit. They'll go for the easy targeting Matthew instead. Pandamu is coming behind them. Yatoro might be in trouble, especially with Sacred teeping in. Going to have to deal with the tree so they can scout his position, but it has given enough time for Team Spirit to react as well. And Toronto Tokyo is ready with the Rolling Thunder. Pandamu's in a position where he can counter this though. Being scooped out to the left side. Do they have the damage to be able to get the Pain Clear slapped inside the ultimate? They're going to turn to deal with the Undying instead. As now they can turn and deal with Toronto Tokyo. Dominating streak for Sacred. Pandamu, great position with the use of the ultimate to stop the Rolling Thunder in its track.
And that was a 4v5 as well. Picard's just sitting up here on the top hand side, farming away very, very happily, realizing that he needs that little bit of extra damage now if he's looking to try and take out people like the Night Stalker inside the
Dire's
throne.
top tower is under attack.
This aggressive zip into the triangle as well. The ward that they placed prior.
They're going to go for one
Will
more.
allow them to catch up to Mira. Now Pandamu with the wraparound also gets the Nightmare to hold Yatoro into place and Thunder. What is a very even game a couple of minutes ago, but the network
Radiant's
lead is
bottom
starting to
tower is
balloon
under
up.
attack.
Going to attempt to protect this bottom
Radiant's
side.
bottom
Collapse is
tower
going to be the
is
one that
down.
gets caught out here.
Step.
Chronosphere at the ready. Will he look to go for it solo? Be able to get away in time. Amount of vision, and they can see that looking to try and wrap onto the rest of the team, but just a little bit of free experience coming through there for Collapse.
You said it before though, look at Sacred's game. 8-1-3 on the Enigma. Holy hell, this guy's so far.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's pretty crazy, right? It's just one of those things that you need to be able to protect from, and some TIs, some people's favorite heroes just seem
Put
to
it
come
out
into
of
the
your
meta.
mind.
I mean, you've seen me gush about Sacred's Pangolier, so even just to have that aspect to be able to give it to
Victoria might be in trouble. The push on the higher ground, Tombstone laid down, and Thunder aren't going to continue to push up. So nice body guarding coming through from the post gun. This goddamn ill
Dire's
ping.
bottom tower is under
I keep
attack.
seeing it as the day goes on. Wherever the wards are placed. It's a good ping, I like it.
Slug started it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
take
that's right.
that.
It was Beast Coast I was doing. I was trying to remember.
I know Yatra is a big fan of buying the Aghanim shard on the Drow Ranger, and I wonder if he's going to do it this time around. Just with the old hypothermia, bit of regen reduction against Bane, even the Faceless Void to a lesser extent, helps pop the Eidolons a little bit too.
Long tipping. They want the Drow Ranger and they're going to be able to find her. Matthew with the wraparound ankle. Beautiful positioning coming through from the Nyx Assassin, and Dark Margot will instantly follow up with the damage required, and this can
Dire's
now
middle
open up the
tower is
T1
under attack.
tower.
Indeed, and that's a super early Wraith Pact as well, being picked up by Sacred.
Dire's
Looks like
middle
he's opting to go
tower has
into
fallen.
the Aether Lens just to make sure that he can get a little bit more active around the game. You know, you're playing again around some pretty long cooldown ultimates, the Chronosphere, the Black
Dire's
Hole,
middle
but if you can get
tower
into
is
that
under
Octarine,
attack.
suddenly you're not quite as concerned that Team Spirit might just take that one fight if you have a poor one and then look to roll over you.
Stupendous!
What do we need to see different out of Team Spirit in this next 5 minutes? Because of course the nighttime being a big advantage for Collapse. Can we see them play aggressive though and try and pull this game back?
I think he still feels like he needs that little bit of extra damage, so he's just got enough to be able to buy the Mithril Hammer component of the BKB, and I wonder if he might not even wait until he's got the full thing ready. I think he just needs that extra little injection of damage to make sure that, again, if he goes in onto Pandamu, that Pandamu actually dies. I honestly
This is a
think...
great ward.
Yeah, they might look to use the Black Hole just to protect Bane.
Dark Margot. He's going to try and deal with the Undying first. They do have at least the Rolling Thunder nearby, but down in the lane bottom, Black Hole's going to be cancelled thanks to the silence. Matthew's able to step in as well, along with Pandamu. They have a way to cancel the
Minute,
Fiend, so
so
that's
much
when
for
Miracle
Collapse.
come into play, but Thunder there in trouble, just no escape as Team Spirit swarming into the neighborhood. They've killed off Sacred, they're going to be able to find the Bane as well, as Spirit was looking like a rocky start to the fight with the Black Hole, but the instant counter proves dividends.
They've got multiple ways to be able to cancel it, right? And with a nicely timed gust there coming through as well by Yatoro to make sure that they didn't get that full kill. Pretty good use of a lot of their spells coming together, but you just see the armlet toggles coming through from Collapse. He's so hard to kill, and it's just going to become even more of an issue once he does pick up that BKB.
See all the vision they get inside the fight. Like you said, with the armlet toggle is keeping Collapse alive, pops that ultimate, all of a sudden you know exactly where Thunder are playing. Got the tombstone laid down as well, and just to control the team fight looks a lot easier for Spirit in a choke point like that.
Even just something like, I think they've had to use it a little defensively these past couple of times. One, to be able to escape from the Faceless Void and get that long silence duration, but also just then. But I think next time they're going to look to use the Dark Ascension, it's going to be a lot more aggressively. You're going to have these tier 2 items, you're going to have the completed BKB, and I'm sure they're hoping that Toronto Tokyo will have the Blink Dagger at that stage, because that's going to enable you to have the follow-up onto the backlines to be able to take out these heroes and disrupt the Enigma from coming in with a black hole to protect the Bane.
Well, he's the one that got the streak from Sacred. 450 gold given over to the Pangolier, so that's definitely going to help getting him closer to that Blink timing. A lot of good wards that Spirit are playing with at the moment. They're scouting up Akaz and Matthew moving to top. They see Pandamu along with Sacred, so a lot of information that Spirit can do, that can utilize, I should say.
Yeah. Still in farm mode for the next little bit though. You know, Drow Ranger getting close in towards that Hurricane Pike, going to provide a lot more survivability. Making sure to play around Mira. Feel that Yatoro has died a few too many times now, 1, 5, and 4. Let's get up to 3, but they're going to make the solo jump here.
Where everyone's running the neighborhood. I'm over here. Dark Margo should be able to get the kill and then get out with his own life. Some bottle sips to play with to get the mana back. He's going to be able to drag him closer to the Rolling Thunder. As they will catch up. Great movement over from Team Spirit. They do separate away, so at least there was an opening to be able to continue to slow down Yatoro's game.
Yeah, I thought Mira was going to stay nearby, but he just looked to converge with the rest of the team, and the response was a little bit slow as well to be able to return back towards the rest of the team. They hadn't hit any of those timings as well, so it's not like they were grouping up for a smoke or anything along those lines. Still about 200 gold away from the BKB and the Blink Dagger, and you've only got about a minute or so left of nighttime to play with. So Collapse, once he uses that Dark Ascension, at least it's level 2. Won't have that much left to be able to do a lot of damage, and you're going to have to play the passive game once again.
I'm a Poshka. Up to his shenanigans like usual. It's just a nuisance. Another long zip in the lane as well. Once again, Dark Margo, where we saw prior been trying to get the kill onto the Drow Ranger. Looks like also Mira's going to go down in the similar neighborhood as well. So a couple of killers being fed over to Thunder. Up at the top jungle now. You're onto Bakaz, get some distance away thanks to the Force Staff. Do they want to stick around though? Kronos to the ready, but Bakaz a little bit worried that he doesn't have some more reinforcements maybe to pump some damage inside the ultimate. So just happy with keeping it. Because again, this is a member. Once you get to the later stages, you've got some very good matchups here for Bakaz and Thunder, giving a lot of space to the Faceless Void.
I mean, that was actually huge, the fact that they had the Dark Ascension popped, but they weren't able to claim anything out of it. Like, now, like I was mentioning, Dark Ascension's going to expire basically right as it turns back into daytime. So what should have been a really big timing for Team Spirit now isn't going to be. Now you're kind of just left a little bit more passive. You're probably still going to go for a play because you've got this Blink Rolling Thunder to be able to play with, but now Collapse certainly isn't anywhere near as much of an issue for people like the Bane and the Enigma.
So that means the Bane can now look to address with the Pangolier throughout the team fights. And that was something we were mentioning, that the Night Stalker kind of nullifies that counter in a way. So we'll really open up for Thunder.
Does depend who gets the jump, right? That was the purpose, of course. Part of it was giving up a little bit of your life, being the distraction to enable Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse to get those items, but part of it was they wanted to go to this move next. They wanted to be able to push in together onto the bottom side of the map with that vision, so that the Blink Dagger on Toronto, Tokyo actually finds someone who connects on the back lines. And ahead, just making sure that the siege creep is protected. They want to continue to try and play around with this. They might not really care on Thunder. They're going to realize that they don't have ultimates to play with. Let's just take the second life for a Storm Spirit, and let's look to make a play with our own BKB.
Pushka, great position for the Undying though. They'll be able to pop the smoke and give plenty of time for Team Spirit. Potentially they take the fight. They're going to be off the mark of the initial jump. But Dark Margo can easily follow up.
little play though, dodged out, got a little bit of the extra movement speed, really not wanting to give up their own areas of the map to be able to play with. Even Toronto Tokyo was going for that lucky shot proc onto the Storm Spirit just to provide him that extra couple of seconds, but able to land it. It does feel like Yatoro for now doesn't have the damage output to be able to truly contribute into these team fights until he picks up that Yasha straight into the BKB afterwards, not wanting to deal with anything like the Manta style.
Seems like he needs the items, and along with some of the other members as well. Collapse begging for this blink dagger just to help with that initial jump. Meanwhile, again, it's going to be the Nyx Assassin that runs into another member of Team Spirit. So Mira caught out inside the jungle. Dark Margot's going to try and zip in as well, but that's where Pandabu can come into play. Holding Collapse into place. They're even got a black hole as well from Sacred. A lot of hate given over to Collapse's Night Stalker.
Zombies as well. They end up clearing through all of them, but that's the sort of situation where if Toronto Tokyo is there, as soon as that Fiend's Grip's used, that's his time. They've got no ways other than the Chronosphere being able to deal with that one. And honestly, their damage into the Chrono isn't the greatest either.
Dire's middle tower is
starting
under
to scale
attack.
a good amount, and he's even
Radiant
going into the
structures
Aghanim
are
shard as well,
fortified.
just to try and potentially bait out
Radiant's
a few of
top
these
tower
BKB
is
charges
under
to
attack.
enable
Dire's middle
Thunder Awaken's
tower
team
has
fight as they
fallen.
look to push in and claim even more of the map.
Force.
They see
Double
Yatoro
damage.
bottom. He's going to be in some trouble here. If he goes for another wave, he's going to run into Dark Margot. And the rest of Thunder is starting to move down just in case they need some more members to help
Dire's
secure the
courier
kill.
has been killed.
And this is all set up thanks to the
Get away.
No way, Yatoro makes it out. What is... Oh my lord, I was sure he was dead. I was sure there was no way he would have survived.
Toro for you, man. You saw the true
Dire's
sight. You
bottom
saw the
tower
TI
is
Grand
under
Finals.
attack.
It has this ability to be able to dodge out and outplay his opponents when they go for these 2-on-1 ganks.
See what they can do now with it on Spirit. A lot of mana already used from Dark Margot. Of course, he has the Aegis to be able to
Dire's
refresh,
bottom
but they
tower
also know
has
the
fallen.
Fiend's Grip and the Black Hole is on cooldown.
But
Dire's
it's not for
bottom
much
tower
longer.
is
Just
under
30
attack.
seconds left to be able to play around that lack of Fiend's Grip. So if they're going to make a play, it's got to be now.
Matthew?
Double dust being popped, and he doesn't actually get hit by either of them. And yeah, you can see the instant chat wheel coming in response for it as well.
Мы обретаем свободу.
Them away completely.
Or might be in trouble.
Go for another smoke now. They might honestly be considering it. About a minute left until nighttime. Duration of Dark Ascension around 40 or so seconds. So by the time that they're looking to connect onto someone on Thunder Awaken's side, then you still have that additional damage from the Hunter of the Night to be able to play around. And I mean, a lot of the time you see Night Stalkers look to emphasize the Void a little bit more strongly, as in Void ability, not the Faceless Void. But this game, full on Crippling Fear. He realizes his job this game on Collapse is just to take out these support.
Baiting the Nyx Assassin. Oh, nice sidestep though from Yatoro. He's gonna miss out the Chrono on everyone. Still lose Mirror nonetheless. And Spirit is starting to TP in. They actually want to take the team fight now, but Thunder, they've got all 5 members. So they've got to be cautious in Dark Margot. Start the fight and zip over the tower onto Yatoro. Who's going to be able to get some distance next to the Hurricane Pipe, but it will not matter. It's time to just lock onto their target, trying to continue the chase, but hasn't got the damage to secure the kill. And somehow Yatoro is still alive for the moment. And that Team Spirit, they can turn it back around with a heavy commitment out of Thunder. They need to address the Fiend's Grip, and that's when Mirror can come into play. But Sacred jumps over the tree line and BKB Black Hole. Where's the damage coming out though? They don't have any follow-up at the moment.
have full
Somehow
mana.
Team Spirit are continuing to stay alive long enough. They need to set themselves up for round 2. They're going to try and still continue to bring down the Enigma. The Sacred will finally go down. But do they have the damage and the resources to deal with the Storm Spirit afterwards? A silence into the jump in on Mira, and somehow, some way, Team Spirit will be able to take the Aegis team fight and 5-man wipe Thunder.
And they do that while still being at a 7k net worth deficit. I mean, you just dived a little bit too far, right? You played around the tree line where Night Stalker's at his strongest. You played behind a tier 2 tower. You didn't respect the buyback coming through from Mira as well. Holding on to it for quite some time. And, well, it's going to slow down his BKB timing for sure, but the power of being able to give that sidekick over to Yatoro means that it takes so much longer to be able to take him down, and see the power of the Night Stalker as well. Vision wins games, and one Team Spirit that team fight.
Don't know how how he would stay alive for so long, Yatoro. Just felt like second after second after second, he was just continuing to stay alive. And
Yep. Side
I mean,
kick,
that's
soul
not-
rip, right click, game.
Pike out to the right, bonus movement speed from the jump in with a rebound, and all of a sudden net worth lead drop down to 7,000. I mean, you mentioned how important the vision was in that
Radiant
team fight, but also
scanning.
just Thunder. I mean, taking a 5-on-5 under a tier 2 tower for a good minute. Probably not going to be the easiest way to succeed. Maybe this jumping though into the pink lead though. The momentum going back their way. Toronto Tokyo with the illusion, but
Radiant's bottom tower.
we're going to
is
go down
under
inside
attack.
the Rolling Thunder. A cute attempt playing around with the power room, but not enough.
Eidolons plus the Vlad's Aura plus just a Storm right click, enough to take him down even inside of that Rolling Thunder. So they'll know that he's off the board for about another 50 seconds. Even if he buys back, he's not going to have the ultimate available. So maybe this is their trigger to just make that exact same play again.
Jumping. Matthew and Dark Margot combined together. Collapse.
Thinking about
He's going
it.
to try and TP in, yeah. I mean, the rest of the team had an angle down from the triangle, but we're going to be a little bit too late to follow up. So what was a great team fight from Team Spirit underneath the T2 tower top, kind of the momentum that we're starting to build all of a sudden slowed down thanks to those two pickoffs. Thunder, they've been able to stabilize.
They
Dire's
have, but
top tower is under
they're banking
attack.
on their Drow Ranger right now on Team Spirit. They've given Yatoro a lot of time. Yeah, he's died 7 times, but in the
Dire's
past little
top
bit, he's
tower
only died
has
that
fallen.
once in the team fight, which was still a big win overall for Team Spirit. So you're going to have about
Dire's
800
top
gold
scanning.
left until he's able to pick up that BKB for
Radiant's
himself,
bottom
be a little
tower
bit more
is under
sustainable.
attack.
Even with the scan, he's going to TP out, just not wanting to trust the fact that, well, you've got a Storm Spirit and the Nyx that have been playing off the map for a little bit too long, and I have no sentry coverage on the bottom side, so goes back towards the safety of the top. So be able to claim these Eidolons, it would go a long way towards giving him that little bit of a net worth boost, and he might be able to. Should get him pretty damn close to the BKB. You'll have the Dark Ascension, have that still remaining nighttime available for Collapse in these next couple of minutes. Right around when Roshan is set to spawn as well. So if Team Spirit's going to come back into this game, it's going to be off the next team fight, depending on when Rosh spawns.
Be a big swing for them. We've seen them be able to win the team fight in the past. And then getting that objective off the back of it could be huge as well, potentially giving the shard then.
Pinging them all out. They're walking right past this avenue. Every single member of Spirit revealed under this unorthodox ward. They've got the gem though, so Maposhka might see it. Not quite.
Coming.
Thunder know where you are and you have no idea.
Coming, Matthew. They're gonna run back under the ward. Matthew can get the jump, or Dark Margo instead with the fall. Double impalement, beautiful. And Secrets nearby as well for good measure. A black hole dropped on the dome, and now to the T2 tower they go. As Bakaz is in with the Chronosphere, Mirror's down and out of the count. As Thunder find 3, and that's all set up thanks to the Observer ward.
They eventually got rid of it on the retreat out, but too little, too late. Roshan is up as well. It was a 40-second respawn timer, so probably would have favored Team Spirit with the exact timing that they need. But again, Vision wins games. It won Team Spirit the previous team fight before that one. Just saw what it was able to have, the impact for Thunder Awakens. So I like the idea of buying the gem when you're in this disadvantageous spot on Spirit, but the smallest thing, not being able to scout it out, ends up giving it away over to Thunder Awaken. Now they're able to secure this area around the Roche Pit, secure that Aegis, and more importantly, the Aghanim Shard as well, which is going to provide a lot of value over to the Bane. I mean, AoE Brain Sap isn't too bad, just being able to survive that little bit longer in these fights.
I like this smoke from Spirit. Their lanes are in a really good position. They know the ultimates were used as well.
Look at Matthew's
The only
positioning.
issue is Matthew's positioning. Again, this Nyx assassin. Oh Matthew, what was that? A performance done! And Thunder, they're gonna capitalize on the initiation. That was beautiful. You couldn't have asked for much better. He blocked the smoke, gets the jump in onto forward a choke point, and now they can finish up the team fight as well as Collapse will not escape. A triple for Dark Margot. And it looks like the writing is on the wall. Thunder with the second Roche now. All the components given over. Let's take a look at that one again.
Beautiful, the Ravage coming through from the Impale there, able to land onto 4, and then even just then you see Collapse, he's on the back line, he has the BKB popped as well.
Dire's middle
Still
tower
very
is
vulnerable
under
to being
attack.
caught out by that Fiend's Grip.
Dire's
Multiple
structures
ways
are
to be able to
fortified.
pierce those BKBs right now. On Thunder Awaken means so much less value. Wondering, do they give the Aghanim Shard over to Pandamu? Surely you give it to Matthew. He deserves it after that one, and yeah, they hand it over. He's going to pop it
Dire's
for that
middle
little bit of
tower
extra
has fallen.
magic resistance reduction. Not like he needs it though.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
What do you do
Dire's
now? You
middle
tried to
barracks
make
has
a
fallen.
team fight work, knowing that Thunder had all their ultimates on cooldown, and well, now you all the team without the ultimates. Dark Ascension down for 50. Thunder, they've got Black Hole up in 10 seconds, so they're ready to continue on.
Yep. Seconds away from the Fiend's Grip as well, so solid positioning coming out from Thunder. Able to bottle up a double damage as well for Dark Margot. Level 20 talent, extra electric vortex duration, so he's able to find someone. If you're able to get the jump, I feel like Thunder Awaken, they're the style of team that wants to go first.
When they go isn't because of a beautiful double corner off the right side. That's it. They've got to tap out. Thunder Awaken. What an incredible game one. It just seems like there's no angle back in. Spirit will still try and hold this game, but Thunder just looks so clean.
You give people their comfort, and this is what they're going to be able to deliver. You know, the Picard's Faceless Void, absolute top tier. Everyone essentially being able to play at their absolute pinnacle. And perhaps he's going to need to get back to the base. They're hitting onto tier 4s. He's got his level 16, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. The Basher still not ready to be purchased up.
Gets the tombstone down, will instantly jump on top of him. DOTA2 with the fall up as well, but the buildings are starting to fall. And Zombies are doing a lot of damage towards the Enigma. They'll kill off Sacred. Is that the only person they're going to be able to kill as they put themselves too far forward of the net worth deficit? They will not be able to get themselves back inside the base. They're too squishy. Thunder just blow them up one by one. And they throw. It'll eventually blow up. Collapse, you'll make the attempt. You've got your Toro back up in a couple of seconds, but the respawn will take too long. As Thunder, a very, very convincing game one victory from them.
Yeah, starting out the day 0-2, but Thunder Awaken, they've woken up and they have done it in fantastic style. And it was just an absolute bloodbath as well. 2 kills a minute across the board. It really felt like Team Spirit wanted to take it to them, but they played right into Thunder Awaken's hands. This is the style of gameplay that they go for. They don't care about the meta. They just care about what they're good at. And sometimes those two things just happen to coincide very, very